Left 4 Dead 2 is a 4-person multiplayer co-op game in which a ragtag group of survivors are forced to hack, slash, and shoot their way through a seemingly endless onslaught of zombies while desperately searching for the next area of temporary respite. Aside from the usual common infected, i.e. your run-of-the-mill zombie, there are special infected, each with their own appearance, abilities, and blood-curdling snarls. Special infected can be hard to pick out from a crowd of common zombies, especially in the chaotic and clustered hordes of Left 4 Dead 2. But luckily for players, special zombies can be identified by the unique sounds they make. Each zombie type has its own growl, cackle, or shriek that tips the player off to the fact that something is about to try to munch their face off. Personally, I only started playing Left 4 Dead 2 about 2 months ago, but in the short amount of time I've spent playing the game, I've been able to pick up on the unique sound cues of each type of special infected to the point where, when I'm playing with my friends, I'm able to call out specific zombies nearby without even having to see them. These unique zombie noises are used by the game's developers to both inform the player about what challenges lie ahead and create an atmosphere of tension and unease. Whenever my team hears a witch or a tank, we all go quiet and start planning out how to tackle the situation, asking if anyone has a Molotov or if it'd be possible to just try to sneak around this one. And when we hear a charger or a smoker, everyone begins frantically looking around for it in the hopes of getting out of its way. Altogether, there are 9 types of zombies: common infected, boomers, chargers, smokers, hunters, spitters, jockeys, tanks, and witches. Common infected are your standard zombie. Alone, they're no challenge, but they can pose a real problem when they form a murmuring, shifty horde. They can be identified by their variety of shrieks, snarls, and growls, as well as the music cue that plays when a horde is approaching.
Grabbing a shot. Let's go.
Boomers are large bloated zombies that gush a stream of vomit that can temporarily blind a survivor and attract a horde of common infected to them. Boomers have a gurgling wet growl, which both helps inform the player as to their bile-spewing nature and denotes that a boomer is about.
That's what they call a boomer.
If a survivor is covered in boomer bile, common infected begin to swarm them, and a haunting theme plays for the duration of the bile's effect. Chargers are grotesquely disfigured, swollen zombies with one abnormally large arm which they use to pound survivors into the ground. Chargers produce a high-pitched squeal while catapulting themselves forward towards survivors. This squeal signals that a charger has started charging and tells the survivors to get out of the way. Smokers are tall, lanky infected with long whip-like tongues which they use to lasso and restrain survivors. They're known for their raspy, gravelly shouts, which, as the name implies, makes them sound like they've been smoking. Hunters are stealthy hooded zombies, who pounce on and immobilize survivors from the shadows. Hunters look very similar to common infected, making them harder to pick out, but their high-pitched shrieks are a dead giveaway. Get it? Dead giveaway. This gives survivors ample opportunity to look for the flying zombie and try their best to shoot it out of the air. Spitters are long-necked zombies that spew green acidic goo, which can melt a survivor's health bar in a matter of seconds. Spitters make wet, goopy snarling sounds, like blowing their nose or clearing their throat. Jockeys are swollen, hunchbacked infected who leap onto survivors and ride them around like zombie cowboys. Jockeys hop around on all fours, making them hard to see amongst the crowds of common infected, but they also laugh and squeal as they approach, making it so the survivors know what's coming, even if they can't see it.
You hear that?
We have got to get over that bridge.
Tanks are swollen, lumbering hunks of flesh that can pick up cars or large chunks of concrete and hurl them at survivors. Tanks are generally considered a boss encounter due to their high health and damage output. Players will know a tank is coming long before they see it. both because of the animalistic snarling and thumping sounds they make when approaching, as well as the music that begins to play when a tank is near.
We're heading the right way to the mall.
Tanks are such a powerful threat that they're one of the only infected whose presence is announced by music, the other being the witch. Speaking of, witches are the final infected type, and like the tank, they're considered boss enemies. Witches have small, slender bodies with long, sharp claws, and if they're disturbed, they'll fly into a rage, often making short work of any survivors they come into contact with. As previously mentioned, witches are accompanied by eerie music. Before being disturbed, witches sound like a crying girl, but any survivor unlucky enough to upset a witch will hear her shriek. Approaching a witch will also cause her sobs to progressively evolve into more zombie-like angry noises to signal when a player is getting too close.
Shoot it! Run! Run! Witch coming through!
In conclusion, the zombie sound design in Left 4 Dead 2 works to create an eerie and unsettling atmosphere, informs the player as to the zombie's nature, and helps more experienced players know what to expect in the next area. The general lack of music during gameplay works to inform the player as to when something big is happening, like a zombie horde or a tank. Most interestingly, the game maintains realistic sound design while exploring things as unrealistic as zombies that can spit acid, or shoot meters-long tongues out at people to restrain them. These combined make Left 4 Dead 2 a compelling look into great informative yet thematic sound design.